Thank you for joining us on the biggest story tonight. I'm Niranjan. We're getting you some details of that gruesome murder in Delhi. Not just the visuals, we're getting in some details of the post-mortem report as well. But before that, on the biggest story tonight, we have details of another UPA-era scam. That's our biggest story tonight. Here are the headlines. Parliament inaugurated, but the insults continue. Insults to the Sengol, insults to India's traditions continue by the opposition parties. RJD and the Congress party, some other opposition parties also continue to mock the sacred Sengol even today. Boycott done, the Congress party now dumping the Aam Aadmi party on the ordinance that they were hoping the Congress will back them on. On camera in Delhi, the biggest story tonight, a girl stabbed over 20 times. The post-mortem report says it could be over 30 times by a killer who's now been arrested from Uttar Pradesh. Over 12 people watched and walked. They watched the murder. They watched the stabbing. They watched a slab of stone being thrown on the skull, the head of this girl, this minor in Delhi, and they just walked. Another UPA-era defense scam emerges. Details on Republic. They guaranteed freebies before the elections, and now they're trying to sort of wriggle out of that promise. In Karnataka, that's the biggest story on how the freebie U-turn is slowly taking shape. Yasin Malik Brigade now emerging, asking why death penalty should not be given to him. Political parties trying to make an argument for a terrorist called Yasin Malik. Thank you for joining us on the biggest story tonight. Now, in the last 10 to 15 years, how many scams have we covered? How many scams have emerged, especially defense scams? The CBI has this evening filed a corruption case against British aerospace and defense company Rolls Royce, its top executives and arms dealers for alleged kickbacks, and they say these are huge kickbacks in the procurement of Hawk 115 advanced jet trainer aircraft for the Indian Air Force and the Navy. And it's alleged that during 2003 to 2012, these accused entered into a conspiracy with unidentified public servants who abused their official positions in lieu of huge bribes. Now, CBI says these are huge bribes, huge commissions, huge kickbacks that were paid allegedly by Rolls-Royce to approve the aircraft purchase. And it went all the way from 2008 to 2012 is what the CBI says. Now, the initial deal itself was signed in 2003, but the period that's under scanner where allegedly some of the dubious signatures were taken, deals were pushed, is between 2008 and 2012, according to the details we picked up. Another defense scam coming to light. In fact, the story was broken by Republic TV this evening. Let me go across also to Group Captain Agustin Vinod. Group Captain Agustin Vinod is a veteran. He's been a fighter pilot himself. Group Captain Agustin Vinod, behind you we have, I can see the Surya Kiran aircraft. The Surya Kiran aircraft is the pride of India, the pride of our Air Force. In fact, these planes make us proud when we look at them perform in the skies. They are the pride of the Indian Air Force. But we are hearing now that there was a scam, according to the CBI, in key years between 2008 and 2012, when these jets were being procured and additional jets were asked for, running into several thousand crore. Group Captain Agustin Vinod, what comes to your mind when you hear of this?
Yeah, see, quickly, a couple of things that comes out loud and clear is during that period, the period under scanner, who was the defense minister? That is the first question that gets asked. If you remember Bofo scandal when it happened, first heads to roll, and people who paid the price for it, by losing the election in the subsequent times, were people who were at the helm, both in the defense ministry as well as at the top, Sri Rajiv Gandhi, who came under scanner at that time. This time, the person under scanner is A.K. Antony. So October 2006 to May 2014. So for a period of 7 years, 7 years and 212 days to be precise, he was the defense minister, and people who were born at that time or people who have worked at that time know Sri A.K. Antony as being a very straight-jacketed man, never got into any kind of scandal, and of course he rarely took decision. That's a different matter altogether. But he is one man who had a clean image in the entire political career of his. So he is under scanner. And what is the whole issue about? That is the prime focus for us to discuss today. So 2003, when this gets signed, that time Sri A.K. Sri Fernandez was the defense minister when the deal got signed, George Fernandez. And then came for 2 years Pranab Mukherjee from 2004 to May 2004 to October 2006. And then Sri A.K. Antony took over from him from 2006 to 2014. So this entire period that we are talking about, we have 3 defense ministers and a couple of unnamed civil servants, and Sri Sudhir Chaudhary and his son Banu Chaudhary. These names are cropping up in this entire deal. Now let's just break it down what happened. So initial Hawks that came in flyaway condition. And if you recollect at that time, we were woefully short of trainers. So when I joined Air Force, we were training on Hawk. We were training on Kiran, and Hawk was Hawk or Alpha Jet. One of them we were being talked about. And we said it is just around the corner and MiG-21 Type 77 will be phased out. This was when I just got commissioned. Will be phased out soon, and we'll have one of these trainer aircraft inducted. And lo and behold, when I became a wing commander and I commanded a Type 77, MiG-21 Type 77 unit, which when I was a youngster was supposed to be phased out. So Indian Air Force was woefully short of trainers, woefully short of advanced trainers, AJTs. And we were, desperately looking for trainers, and these two were on the top of the line. See, Alpha Jet, which was a high wing trainer, and Hawk, which is a low wing trainer. So the merit of selection, and I have no doubt in the matter that it is one of the best. That is why probably, like you correctly mentioned, it is behind me also. It is our pride of our nation, which is the Suryakiran. So Suryakiran flies this aeroplane in a 9 aircraft formation, and the formations that even the UK aerobatic team I have not dreamed of flying that kind of formations we fly. So aeroplane-wise, the performance-wise, the service that it gives to our pilot for it's almost 2 decades that it is giving us service as far as training is concerned, advanced training is concerned, and I've flown in this aeroplane a couple of times. It is a very forgiving, very nice aeroplane to fly. It's one of the best stepping stone to flying a supersonic fighter jet. So all that is absolutely fine. There is no doubt in my mind that it was chosen in a very fair manner, in a very right manner.
Yeah.
But the question that you asked is the signatures, and when the Crown asked the question as to when Integrity Pact was in place, what kind of kickback or what kind of deals that got signed.
I think lost your video there. Yeah. You're back.
Yeah, so that I feel is about when we were starting to produce Hawks here. in India.
Correct.
So when we started producing Hawks in India in HAL, we would require the support from the OEM in terms of airframe, in terms of engine, and Rolls Royce, mind you, is an engine making company, and other spares that that requires for the aeroplane to be produced here. So that is where I feel, prima facie CBI feels that there have been, to the tune of 308 million or 734 million, that kind of numbers being, thrown about.
So
that is where, like,
I have the details of, the full FIR that has been lodged. And, I'll leave it at this for now. But it's alleged that Rolls Royce was involved in bribing tax officials as well in another unrelated case when this was being investigated, and other officials to prevent an investigation by Indian authorities into its tax affairs and use of intermediaries in the deal, which means middlemen were being used, and the period is between 2005 and 2009. And we get a sense, Group Captain Agustin, this is going to be a very, very big story, and we will see who got the kickbacks. And that's our focus here on Republic TV. Thank you for joining us, only for lack of time. Thank you for joining us, Group Captain Agustin Vinod. Another UPA era scam coming to light, and those planes that you see on your screen called the Surya Kiran, they're the pride of India. They perform for the Indian Air Force. They're the acrobatic team, aerobatic team, and they make us proud. And when we hear of kickbacks being paid many, many years ago, and thousands of crores of money being exchanged, we don't have the full details of it. We'll wait for it, and we will track the story very closely here on Republic